Well, good evening, folks. It's Sergeant Friday with your Answers News Network, and a quick Friday episode of All the World's a Stage. It's been a quite a hectic week, I think, for all of us when it comes to the events of last weekend, from a little town in Butler, PA, all the way to today on Friday. It's also been interesting. I've been watching some of the true crime, some of the streamers there, and unfortunately, for the vast majority of those clickbait and losers, from Jay Ombre, Swamp Rose, to all of these other conspiracy theorists. I fear that your true crime is not true crime. It's simply a category of true assholism, and where people are taking advantage of your good nature or your ignorance, either one, but even both. But it can't be your sensibilities, because you're a senseless creature to go wander through the fucking halls of that fucking shitstorm. And being that all the world's a stage, I think a lot of your true crime, but the majority of your true crime, not all of it, but the majority of it, is built up by people that wouldn't stop to fucking offer you a cup of fucking water if they passed you in the desert, unless you had some fucking click or money to give them. A lot of losers out there, from the fucking WSU mom to all the others. Your convict guy that wants to pretend he's a criminal. He's got traffic violations out his ass, and he presents himself as thoughts by a criminal or some shit. Unfucking believable. Even harsh reality and to drip drop. Again, another group of people that are just fucked up from the floor up, that only want to talk about conspiracies and avoid the facts. And then on to your politics, where you can see the mirror image of that happening. We now have 3 shooters. We have a water tower. We have the assistant director of the FBI taking pictures of it as it's happening. We have fucking conspiracy theories to the extreme in all of these situations, whether it be true crime or it be politics. And why I lead with the all the world's a stage. Now, Frank should be someone that comes up here. And right, too. Frank, I'm going to give you a link, Frank. Copy and paste. 12 Gauge, you're welcome to come up here, too, if you'd like. I cannot tell you what happened to the co-host. I have no idea. No notification. I did send him the standard text message with the code to get in, and so he, for whatever reason, he's not here. I hope I sent him the right code. Let me just double check that. But normally, if I didn't send the right code, he would contact me. And so, yep, I did. We don't know exactly what's happening. But if you were to click on that link, Frank, you should be able to come in. 12 Gauge is in. What's up, 12? 11 plus 1 has joined us. I tried to bring you up there. I don't know if you're in here. Welcome, 12 Gauge. Are you there?
How the hell are you?
Well, if I was any better, I would be like transcendent, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, I just finished the stream myself. I'm waiting on my nephew to stop helping my brother to go and to go work out. So we're gonna go work out here in a little bit.
Oh, cool. So you mean lifting weights and doing some exercise?
Oh yeah, I've been doing that for about a month now.
You can't tell.
Well, thank you, buddy.
I got you. You got to put the Cheetos aside during these episodes.
Do what?
You got to put the Cheetos down, the Oreos, those things you have to put on the back burner. I'm just fucking with you.
So is Frank coming up or what?
I don't know, but Frank is a hell of a guy. I don't know if he knows how to come up. I've given him the link. Oh, he says he's on X. He can't see the link. So I can go into X here. Hang on. Let me put the link up here in X. Paste. There you go. And somehow we have lost the 11 plus 1 has vanished. Maybe he's off to the gym. And I wish him luck, whatever his goals may be, and maybe it's just something to do to pass the time. You never know when it comes to different things. We all do. What did Senny say? I don't know what Senny said. Let's see here. There's 12 Gauge. He's back.
Yeah, I was on my phone. I was on my phone, man, and when you move around too much or you click too many buttons, you just knock yourself out of the damn whatever
Well,
it is.
how can now Frank is an X? I don't know how I posted the link in X. I'm not sure how he's able to deal with that, but you know, I don't know how you get on to StreamYard with a phone. I have no idea, no clue, clueless. You know, can you explain to the people that have phones how you can do that?
Well, it's almost like the same thing as being on the laptop or computer. What you do is you click on the link and it will open up the StreamYard in your whatever browser you're using. But
Okay,
what you have to do is you got to go back to the YouTube one and close that one out, or you're going to have an echo. So,
they have to go close YouTube or X out wherever they're listening to the show,
yeah,
or they have to mute the volume on that particular screen so that the StreamYard screen, the place where they're coming to talk, it won't reverberate between the two.
right, exactly.
Fair enough. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, so I spent the week just watching, jumping back and forth to true crime and politics, and just watching how so many theories and conspiracies and bullshit come forward.
I had to block this son of a bitch that just
Oh, that's okay.
posted that.
I like Boo Boo. He's right. I am a foul mouthed asshole. And
I had to
empty-headed
block his
cocksuckers
ass.
like an empty-headed cocksuckers like his mother are women that I enjoy having fun with. Is
I
your
know
mother
exactly.
available tonight, Boo Boo? Because I do have free time after the show. You know, and my balls could be itched, licked, sucked, played with, whatever your mother's up to. I'm up to it as well, Boo Boo.
That looks like
Well,
Adolf Hitler in the profile pic,
yeah,
bro.
but who cares? It's either an algorithm that's out here, or it's some fucking twit that just thinks he needs attention from me. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe you want to suck my balls directly while your mom watches. I'm up for that too if you'd like, Boo Boo. However you want to play, bro. I'm down. So fucking 12 gauge is like, what the fuck is this?
No, I dealt with this bullshit a while ago, man.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. You got to enjoy people like this that have no life
Come
whatsoever.
get some of this mouth shit bag.
So with this Trump shooting, you now have all of these prominent streamers and political pundits talking about second shooters and water towers, and the FBI assistant director in the crowd behind them recording it. And it's absolutely the most incredulous shit you could ever imagine. It's just like the Idaho 4, where everything except the false statements used to arrest Brian Kohberger are paid attention to. Everything except that. There's all these different theories: the frats, the this, the boyfriends, the that, the pictures, the videos, the manhole covers, the fucking grub truck. Everything except the issues that really are gonna determine the trajectory of the case. And yeah, it is what it is, man. The whole world is just, they cannot live in reality. It's like this guy here that's in the chat there. I'm just gonna delete his comments. We'll let him post them and just delete his comment. Just show him that nobody in the chat room is going to engage with him because they're so far ahead of this
Yeah.
guy's intellect that it's almost as if there's a mosquito biting someone else on the beach, not them. So how would they even know the mosquito is there, right?
Yeah, I spoke about this on my live a while ago about how individual the more that you get certain knowledge about things, the less biased you become. You just start using factual information rather than emotional connection.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. When you pay attention to the actual facts and move your life on based on just reality, which in the reality has got to be based on some kind of fact, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is, when water gets on you, you could claim to be wet because there's water present, but you really don't have any other basis to suggest you're going to be wet, unless you're a woman. But other
Right.
than that, right? So
Right.
facts. And the sad thing is, when you look at, for instance, the shooting at Trump, where you look at the victims, including Trump himself, all the trajectory of the bullets had to have come from that roof. There's no other way for those bullets to have traveled there.
Yeah, I was watching something. I don't know. I was scanning through YouTube earlier, and they were talking about something about a water tower. What's that all
Right.
about?
They're claiming that there was a second shooter or a third shooter, and they're zooming in on a water tower 1,000 feet away, like Tommy Jude zooms in on the fucking asphalt. And they zoom it in so close that all of a sudden there's pixelations on the top of the tower. And if they were to zoom in a little bit more, you could see a whole brigade of people on the top of the fucking tower. Some of them drinking champagne, some of them with sniper rifles, maybe even some of them from Israel. I don't know. But the more you zoom in on the picture, the more you get to see. And that's the story comes from that. It comes from an overpixelated picture and assholes that are trying to convince empty heads that have no process or ability to think to go along with their scrutiny. Some guy's got a sound video out there, and he spends this entire fucking period of selling people the concept of different sounds that are heard on the recording, right? And the bottom line is that the cell phones are the ones doing the recording, right? Or some camera. But if you move your microphone, let's say I'm pointing the microphone right at you, the sound that comes from you directly at me is one thing. But if I now move off to the side and point it at you as a profile, that sound is going to be different, right? You're going to be exposed. The sound has got to propagate through the air. It's going to bounce off of items, people, trees. So there's a lot of things that will also interfere with what you're hearing. And whatever you hear is going to vary based on the location of the microphone, the distance from the sound, the obstacles between you and it. So all of these variables have to be accounted for if you're really going to make a statement that sound proves a second shooter. You got to be a retard to make that kind of.
It looked also like that day. I mean, based on some of the live footage that I was watching on news things, that it was a windy day. Like there was a
breeze. Yeah.
Like there was a breeze going.
Yeah, Gray Hughes, another jerk off. There's a jerk off that I swear, and most of these people, just so you know, I'm remiss to tell them to go fuck themselves because their head's in the way. So there's really no room for them to fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And they're never going to pull their head out of their ass. So it's a waste of words on people like that. But for Gray Hughes and for any of these people that are talking about drones how about the FBI assistant director was in the stands behind Trump videoing it? Did you see that one?
Yeah.
That I immediately called it out on Twitter. You clickbait and lying piece of shit is what I went after the person for. And I do the same thing with these videos, with all these different stories. There's multiple shooters. Pretty soon, I guarantee you, give it time, there's going to be a grassy knoll somewhere that people missed. Right?
I was just going to ask you that. Hey, Deborah, this is 12 Gauge, not Cletus. He's more attractive than I am, I'm sure, So
no, I don't think so.
Don't want to be mistaken for Cletus,
Cletus.
Yeah, I was going
to
ask you about that. I was going to ask you about the grassy knoll.
Yeah. There's going to be a grassy knoll, multiple shooters, multiple locations, people in the crowd. And in the end, all of it's debunkable if you just simply go right ahead and look at where the grouping of people that were shot, where the man was killed, and where Trump was shot. Look at the grouping of victims. Look where the hydraulic line was hit on the crane. That didn't come from a shot from any other location but that roof. And if you can't accept that for what it shows, then you have a fucking mental issue. You really need to go back to kindergarten and start over.
But think of all the eyewitness accounts that were there, all the people that saw it. How is their word not? I mean, how does their word not hold water?
I don't know. How do you see a video of a guy crawling up a roof and he not be the shooter? People are screaming, there's a guy on the roof, he's got a gun.
Yes.
But the shooter was on the water tower. This guy was just a distraction. So this guy joined this hit team, some purported hit team, so that he could take the bullet to the head while the others fled. That was his goal.
Well, this guy,
retards, man.
They're gonna have him getting off 3 shots with a bolt action rifle before long. It wasn't an AR; it was a bolt action rifle. That's why he missed.
No, that was an AR-15 that he used.
I know, but I'm trying to be.
Okay.
I'm trying to add to the madness, like.
So let me ask you this:
Oswald got 3 shots off with a bolt action rifle,
right?
Let
me ask you: why do you think all of these streamers are leading people down all of these different fucking rabbit holes? What do you think the reason is for this?
Like I announced earlier, because I did speak on this a little bit. I believe that they have some kind of input based on somebody trying to control the narrative, whether it be financial, whether it be predatory, whether it be, just just being deviant. I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything. I mean, I've heard just like that Boo Boo guy was talking about. He was telling me that my channel's being watched, and that people that we know the truth, and why aren't we spitting the facts and this and that and the other. And I said, well, why don't you go spit that on your own channel?
Right.
You know,
Well, that's
spit
the
the
problem
facts
is these
on your own
viewers become streamers. That's a big problem. The employment pool for streaming is the audience itself, and most of you fucking mental midgets out here have no concept of reality. You don't live in reality. You're always looking to avoid reality. You don't want to talk about what happens to somebody when they get hit with a fucking K-bar knife in the fucking upper chest. What's the
Right.
reaction, like you did, right? What does that do to the human body, to the people's ability to fight back? This ain't fucking Hollywood where you take a bullet to the chest and you keep fighting.
Right, exactly.
It's
You're gonna lose ability to even control your arm. Your
right.
arm's gonna fall right to your side, no
Right,
matter
there's a
what
huge.
you sliced. I mean,
Well, they just did a surgery on Clue's hand, and they neutralized a nerve up somewhere, and she lost complete mobility of the arm. But that's the equivalent, oftentimes, of being struck by a knife.
yeah, exactly.
You could lose muscle control over many different parts of your body. All your muscles that need nerves to be triggered, and if you sever those nerves, even your heartbeat, you sever those nerves, and you're gone. And the upper body, from the shoulders in that area, across the down by the neck, across all of that area, back behind like you've heard of a pinched nerve in your neck,
Right
back
here.
behind your shoulders. There's all kinds of nerve bundles that run through your body, and a big K-bar knife like that, striking some individual and penetrating them, the ability to fight back is not. It's going to be limited. The more you're struck with that blade, the less ability you got to sort of fight back, and that's through nerve damage and also organ damage and trauma. Your mind trying to process this, you having to deal with the fear of it, the moment.
I
The
mean, I've
people
heard
on
people that have gotten stabbed and they simulate it to like being punched in the gut. Your wind leaves you whenever that
right.
strike goes in you. It kind of takes your breath away because you're not expecting that. I mean, we aren't programmed to understand what it feels like to be stabbed. We don't get stabbed every day, you know?
Can you join YouTube and try to come in through YouTube, Frank? That might be the best way instead of trying to watch me on Twitter. That's just some advice. Yeah, and like I really take issue with these folks that come up with all of this stuff about Aryan nations and all of these different connections to people that have absolutely no connection to the crime as the crime is presented to us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just like in the Trump thing. They had to create the FBI director sitting behind him. Who comes up with this fucking bullshit? And why are we as a group of people so predisposed to accept those discussions?
Well, the simple fact is they don't let things die. Like this Trump thing happened last weekend, right? Here we are almost a week later, and we're still hearing the conspiracies of every little broken down piece of footage.
Yeah.
And there's even been stuff added to it. It's not like we got to see the footage that first originated. No, there's people continuing to dig and continuing to dig. Their second shooter, he's up on the water tower. How come they didn't mention that the first day that they noticed that this guy was shooting off the damn ledge?
Well, how is it that there aren't people in the crowd that are affected by the trajectory of the bullets from the water tower? Because the water tower bullets aiming down towards Trump could not have missed anybody in it. Somebody had to have been struck.
Right.
Because the water tower, if you were on the roof as the shooter looking at Trump, the water tower would be off to your left and up even higher than where you are. So you would have to be firing in a downward trajectory.
Yeah.
Therefore, if your bullet missed Trump, it would either continue through the podium, it would have hit the stage, or it would hit people that were in close proximity to the stage. There's no victims in those areas at all. There's
Or it
no
could have
sign of any gunfire.
ricocheted off the pavement, off the concrete or anything, and struck somebody.
There's nothing. Yep.
Nothing.
So you accept what you're told, folks. This is how you think. You accept what you're told. You could be as suspicious or as worried about the truth as you want to be, but take what you're told, observe the imagery that they're giving you. If they make basic sense, you accept them at face value until and unless a solid contravening fact contradicts it. That's how you deal with information in man's world. There's no other way to deal with it. You can't make up your own fucking theories. If you start making up your own fucking theories, then you end up with big ass fucking confusion conspiracy theories.
Well, you
Now,
know,
do you know who Atrocious Alibi is? I think that's the name.
Atrocious Alibi.
Yeah, they're down here in the stream. They clicked the link somehow.
Okay.
I don't know who she is.
No, I don't know. I don't know who they are.
I don't know who she is, but if she gets crazy, I'll just ban her or whatever.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
hey
there you are.
guys, how you guys doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I heard you guys talking about that water tower, and I just wanted to say hey. And I know it's crazy, right? All of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Hey, 12 gauge.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, by the way, we weren't saying that your channel's being investigated. Your channel's not being investigated. That's not what Boo Boo was saying.
Oh, well, that's what it sounded like. You know.
Okay, because you know, and I know that texts and chats can be misconstrued by people. And you know that when somebody's hot and they're trying to say something, they're not coming through the way that they want to. Is that correct? We can agree on that. So I don't want to disrespect Sergeant Friday. However, I just wanted to chime in on this discussion because I know about this water tower issue.
Get to the point very quickly, because
the water tower isn't the issue at this point. The point is that we had an issue and now everybody's talking about it. So what I wanted to say is it's all about money. It's all about the MSM. Everybody went live streaming. So you're talking about how many people went live in the last 7 days. It's a cash grab. They just paid for the whole fucking election. They just paid for the whole election and just got all the endorsements that they needed through YouTube. YouTube supports it.
Okay.
It's all about money.
Well, that's obvious, but it's even worse than that, because if there's no viewership, if there isn't empty-headed fucking viewers, there is no money. So how do you explain? Listen, you have to understand that the biggest problem is viewership, not the presentation of the jerk-offs that are doing it for money.
They got the viewership.
The jerk-off doing it gets thousands or millions of people to go along with it. What's wrong with those people?
They got the viewership because you're talking about people that had like 20,000 subscribers that just off one live that they had off Trump got 20,000 more subscribers.
You're not following my reasoning, though. The problem is the viewer.
The problem is the viewers are stupid.
There you go. That's the real problem. The problem is the ignorance on behalf of the viewer.
I've been in college the last fucking 2 years, so nobody can tell me I'm stupid because I'm in college now.
Well, that don't make you smart or stupid because you go to school. You're studying.
Okay, no, but I'm pretty fucking smart. Okay, I got all this shit down. Nobody could tell me nothing, just like nobody could tell you nothing, Mr. Friday.
No. I listen to anything and I learn constantly. Except I'm butted up against a whole fucking internet with 5.62 billion morons that don't think, they let everybody else think for them.
But
so when someone brings up a water tower, everybody flocks to the channel to read it and watch it and enrich that person, not realizing that if they look for themselves, the water tower is about as involved as a fucking bird that flew by.
I think when it becomes not about you, like when it's not about you anymore, then people are going to make a difference. When it's not about you and your channel no more, when it's not about what you think people need to hear and all about this, I think that's when people are going to make a difference. It can't be about you. It can't be about always your opinion.
I don't think I understand your point whatsoever.
It can't be. You have to be selfless. Selfless in this industry doesn't exist though with journalism now, does it? It's cutthroat shit, and that's what you get on YouTube. Cutthroat. Everybody wants to tear each other down. Look at what happened on YouTube in the last 2 weeks. Look at all that. I've been watching it. Okay. I just like a day ago put a channel back up because I'm tired of this bullshit and I got something to say.
I'll be down there in a minute.
Straight up.
All right, well,
But dumb people are all over the place. And I'll let you guys go and have the conversation. But 12 gauge, nothing was meant to you and attack you or your channel. You've been doing good. I've been watching you. I'm just surprised to that you're not talking about certain things. Maybe you will. Maybe that'll be coming up. Hopefully that's the case.
Well, very quickly, and then I got to hop off here because my family's ready to go to the gym. But kind of like one thing that I don't like people doing to me is typing all in bold caps and coming at me and telling me what I need to do. And I understand that you guys are passionate about what you believe, and I respect that. Just like I say in my own chat,
It's
I say,
not about what I believe. It's
But
about
listen.
what I know.
but listen,
well,
I
what do
said
you know?
very-
Wait, what does she know? What do you know that we don't know?
I know a lot of shit that you don't know,
Such as?
such as about Idaho 4, such as about what's going on YouTube and who's who and what the fuck.
Well, that really don't say. Well, here's what you're saying. Blah, 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 blah. What do you know that I don't know specifically?
That's your perception.
What don't you know? It's not. It's a fact. I just pointed out a fact.
Okay,
The audience will agree.
we have paid professional actors on YouTube that get paid to literally cause these disturbances.
I understand that long ago. There's algorithms that do it too. There's algorithms. There's phone banks. I get it.
Okay, and YouTube, listen, YouTube got rid of their own fucking CEO, and her son is a college student that passed away in his dorm. Go figure why we got all the college kids disappearing. Because anybody in college, see, we got a mind. We got a mind, and we know some shit. Actually, one of my classes, I was in that class not one day, and she was talking about a subject and literally told me that I probably shouldn't be.
I actually lost my YouTube connection.
Okay, so we got teachers even telling students that we shouldn't be expanding our thoughts. We get even silenced in school. I'm going to tell you, I've been in school the last 2 years.
But you're telling me nothing. You're not telling me anything I don't know. You just made the claim that you know things about the Idaho 4 that I don't know. What is that? What?
I do.
Name something. Name something.
I do. That you're all full of shit about what all the fucking disinformation you've been putting out.
Okay. So what information have I put out that's inaccurate?
A lot.
Name something or get the fuck out of here.
All you do on your show is really talk about your opinions. You don't have no receipts. You're not reading no documents.
So let me ask you a question. Shut up for a fucking minute. Shut the fuck up for a minute.
You shut up. Don't talk to me like my dad.
You raggedy old fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up. You're muted now. Listen. When the police officer tells you the fucking car in the video is an 11 to 13, that's a fucking fact, you stupid cunt. It's not a 16 or a 15 or a 14. Brett Payne said specifically under fucking oath that car was not Kohberger's without naming Kohberger. No one can hear you. You're muted, you dumb cunt. Unfucking believable.
Well, I gotta say on my defense, on my own channel and everything, is
Anyway, folks, I enjoy going off on people like that earn it. When you earn it, I enjoy going off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that. As far as facts are concerned,
Hey, Sergeant Mon.
Yeah, but let 12 gauge finish. He's got.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, 12 gauge.
I just present the facts of the information that I know. Like tonight, I did the investigation tactics and stuff like that. I mean, there's really no room to dispute anything that I present because most of the time it's in a college book. It's it's on a video. It's professionals talking about it. The only way that you can just debunk that stuff is if you believe in your own narrative.
Let me just say, I want to respond to this too. American Girl, listen, you filthy fucking bitch. Get the fuck off my stream, you filthy cunt. You don't like them comments? Go fuck yourself. Okay? If you can't take a fucking angry fucking alpha male calling you what the fuck you earned, then you need to get the fuck out of here and stay out of here. She has
Amen.
no right to voice her fucking disinformation on my channel. Go fuck yourself. Well, first, wait. Pull your head out of your ass. Goodbye.
I'm out of here, Sarge. Thank you for having me up here, bro. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right. See you, 12 gauge.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't listen. I'm so tired of the idiocy that these people earn by in spades what I say to them. They have no idea how much fucking bank they got already stored up for someone like me to enter their life and bash them with it. They've earned
Absolutely.
that
I
shit.
agree. I
Pardon me?
agree.
They've earned it. I mean, that's all they've done out here. They create all this information. They impugn people that have no business being impugned. Leave the frat alone. Leave fucking Kopaka alone. Leave Ian Herschel. Leave these people alone. Until you show me evidence that they're involved, I don't think you have any business or any sense to actually attack and try to frame these people. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. Now, you can go after Kohberger, but if you're going to do that and the evidence is showing you in a court of law under testimony that the PCA is invalid, right? Then you have to question the police. What are you left to question if not the police? I don't get people. Am I like crazy?
No, you're not.
All right, so I'm sorry to jump. What can you say to add to the excitement?
No good. Hi, Sarge. I was actually introduced to you by Illuminati. I follow her religiously. When all that shit went down, I got rid of everybody else. I just follow
Okay.
you, Illuminati. But anyway, well, I was really upset when the other person previously jumped online and acted like she wanted to give something to the conversation, but kind of was going towards 12 gauge. And I really just wanted to say, you know, your platform is not the place for her to come out and do whatever the hell she was wanting to do, because she was obviously here to start some sort of drama, some sort of fight. And this is not what your channel or any of the other channels are about.
No, I give no fucks, and I have no sympathy for any human being that has actually done everything they can to fucking refuse sympathy.
No,
I'm not going to be sympathetic or polite to people that are just ignorant like that.
No, I'm not going to claim to be the smartest woman on the world, but I do follow like the politics and things like that, which I'm kind of new to. You know, from the Trump era, I'd never voted a day in my life until I voted for Trump for 2016. And I feel like, in my personal opinion, that they never had anyone on that water tower. And
No,
I do not believe that there was another shooter on that water tower. I think because that water tower has been brought to everyone's attention and pointed out that there was no one there, that now that water tower has been brought to attention, they're trying to say that someone else is involved.
It's not even just the water tower. It's the argument that there's a second shooter. It's the argument that the woman in the crowd was an FBI agent, which just offended me to the listen.
Right.
Not everybody is a criminal. Not everybody with a badge is a bad person, and not everybody's out to get Trump. We're not all victims. We've allowed ourselves to see the world through the lens of a victim that can't get away from being a victim, and the water tower adds to that narrative.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely, and they're wanting to beat down that and either they're saying there was no snipers on the water tower. Now they're trying to say there was another shooter on the water tower. I think that is absolutely just bullshit.
It's just like the Idaho 4 where they listen. I don't mind you discussing anybody mentioned in the allegations made. So that includes witnesses. If there's a witness named in that PCA, for instance, who's the DoorDash driver? We don't know. But you can make an argument that person has the ability to have been involved. And I think that's fair. Okay?
Right.
You can make an argument the guy that dropped them off. You can make an argument that Dylan or Bethany were involved, but they're all part of the crime. In one way, shape, or form, they're directly connected to the incident, right?
Right.
But to then say to grub truck people or people on the Banfield or Saeed or Kopaka to start creating conspiracy theories about them being involved makes you a fucking lunatic.
Right. Can I tell you my theory on the shooter?
Well, on this shooter, yeah.
Okay, so I believe that this kid, this 20-year-old kid, I do not believe he had any mental issues whatsoever. I think, yeah, he may have been bullied at some point through in school. And I feel like he may have not had any friends. And I speak that through experience because I have a 28-year-old son who is Asperger's autism for many years. Not saying that this is what that kid had. However, I feel like that kid probably wanted to be seen and wanted to be known. And he was home with his mom and his dad, this and that. And I think that just the rally being close to him, and this was his way of, he thought that he was doing something, that not to get him noticed, but it just,
Right.
I don't really understand not even what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that
Yeah, you think that this kid did it, and you're trying to understand his motive.
this kid just went out there just to do something because he thought he was doing something good. It wasn't for the left, it wasn't for the right, or this and that. I think this kid, in his mind, he thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna be a hero.
Maybe.
And
I mean, that's the catch. We'll never really know, right?
correct,
we
absolutely,
can at
because you
least
never really
agree.
know what they're thinking. Absolutely, but I truly believe this kid did this on his own. He did not go out there.
Can I just say something? No, let me just say, and I say this a lot. Never believe in information, just think it. Because once you believe, you shut down your ability to any contradiction, and
Absolutely,
you can't learn.
you shut.
You
Yes,
can't
you shut
learn
down your
when you
ability
believe in.
to think of other options. Yes,
If you believe in a religion, learn your religion, and nobody's going to sway you from that religion. And I'm completely on board with that. But don't believe. I don't believe what they told me. I do believe what I saw. I saw a guy in the roof crawling up the roof. Then the shots
absolutely.
went off.
Yes.
Wait, and then once the shot went off, I see where the victims that were hit by the shots are located, and it's
Yes.
100% consistent with his location. And like
Yes.
somebody to tell me that they did an acoustic analysis, you can't do that unless you set that field up for it, Paula.
Right.
There's no fucking way that you could collect cell phones from that day and collect the sound that they recorded and do an analysis and come up with some idea that there's 4 different rifles and all of that
Yeah.
bullshit.
No, there was
can't
not. There
do
was
that.
the one shooter. There was the one shooter there.
Well, no,
And
I want to address him directly, though. You can only do that on the internet in the wonderful world of fucking YouTube or Twitter or social media. But in no way, shape, or form can you make a scientific analysis like that without having the actual devices that recorded it, without having the exact to the fucking inch of where that phone was located or the recording device was located in relation to the guns. You have to have so much more information that you can't even possibly imagine that to do an audio acoustic analysis can't be done based on the shit we've received from so far from that crime. It's impossible. And anybody that's going to do that or believe that you can do that, you don't know how to think with your head. You don't know anything about acoustics. You don't know how sound waves propagate through the atmosphere. It could be more humid on one side of the field than the other. It could be warmer in the sun than it is under the tree. Though that affects sound propagation. Sound bounces off people, beams, cords, leaves, grass. It interacts with everything around it. So in order for you to make that statement or come to that conclusion, you're insane, brother. You don't have nearly enough data to make that conclusion. And anybody that led you to believe that, or anybody that's selling you that, and you're going along with it, you need to pick up a science book on sound.
right.
And get out of the
Absolutely.
business of believing people out here on the stream.
Absolutely. I think that kid went up on that roof with the intention to shoot Trump. And I feel that as once all eyes were on him, he hesitated. However, on the slant of that roof, I feel that he started sliding down. He kept his hand on that trigger and he just kept letting off rounds
Well, his
until
rounds were
that
very
one
accurately
sniper
placed, though.
took him out.
His rounds were fairly accurately placed, and they show that video.
Oh no,
Trump didn't slightly
absolutely,
move his head, right?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So this was a kid who either played tons of video games and was accurate on a video
There's
game,
proof.
or
There's proof he was at gun
right,
ranges that he
he was
practiced with
going
that
to
rifle.
gun ranges because it did say that he had told his father that morning he was taking the father's new rifle out to a gun range. Yes. However, I feel like that he got up there and he followed through what he wanted to do. I mean, he may not.
I think that for
Trump,
me,
but he took out other people.
I think
And
really the issue isn't this kid's motive. The issue is that the Democratic Party campaigns on hate. That's
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Hate. You got to hate me because I'm against abortion. You got to hate me because I don't want
Yes,
homosexual and look at, I don't want straight nor homosexual talk discussed with my 6-year-old daughter. I just don't.
no,
And you hate me for that. You think that should be, well, people are at birth, they're gay. That's right. People are straight when they're born too, but I don't want that being discussed with 6 or 8-year-olds in a classroom. Okay. I don't want to depend on a windmill. I want fusion energy. I want actual technological advance. And until then we're going to use the natural resources that we have. And you
correct.
hate me for that. They tell you to hate somebody for that. They give you reasons to hate somebody that doesn't have a problem with
Absolutely.
using
Well,
gasoline,
it was just a week
right?
prior when Biden said that Trump was a target. So you think of the people who take that to heart and they are like, okay, well, Trump's the target. And I think that's what this kid did. I think he went out there. He
Kid
thought
was
he was going to
sold
make
on
a
the hate.
statement. Yeah,
Didn't matter who he voted for. He could have been a Republican. A lot of Republicans hated
Yes.
Trump. Look at Liz Cheney.
absolutely. But he thought he was going to make a difference somehow, and his name wouldn't be in vain. And he went out there and he did what he did. And you know, I think, well, I don't want to say I think you don't like that word, but in my opinion, he went out there and he did it. I do believe that there was some people there that interfered with the initial of the snipers or the people who was there to protect Trump. I do believe that they interfered, and that's why the initial shots were taken. And then eventually, the one gentleman the firefighter who lost his life, he said no, that this is not what I'm here to do, and he took him out.
Well, I honestly think that there's a lot less conspiracy to this than we're led to believe, or we're led astray by all of these fucking talking
Yeah,
heads.
no, there's no conspiracy here. This is just one person who consumed the words of the Democrats, and he took it upon
And
himself.
Republicans. Let's
He
be
went
fair.
out
It's
there
not
to
just
do
Democrats that promote hate. It's Republicans too. They do
Oh
it
yeah,
too.
there's plenty of people who call themselves Republicans who are on the inside on the inside trying to work against Trump and the Republicans.
There's literally
Absolutely.
Republicans like Mitt Romney, John McCain, Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, and on and Paul Ryan, Marco Rubio, that guy Kasich. There's a lot of guys that hate Trump and they
I
promote
know what
the
you're
hate,
saying.
right?
I live in I'm in Georgia, and my own governor, he has been a diehard Republican, but yet he backed Bonnie Willis on all
You live in
this.
Georgia?
Yes.
Did you know your Georgian governor, prior to the 2020 election, made a deal with Stacey Abrams to place the voting machines in Republican districts?
Yes, I'm well aware of that. And trust me, when it comes time to vote his ass off, we're going to do it.
Look, and I don't care what your professional background is there, Mr. Paladin. There weren't 4 rifles. There weren't 4 shooters.
No, there was
I don't
not
give a
4
fuck. I
rifles.
don't
There
give a
was
fuck
one
what you want
gentleman.
to come in here. Let me finish, please, Grits.
Sorry.
I'm addressing this person. I don't give a fuck where you came from, what you think you know. The idea that you're going to propagate that conspiracy theory with no evidence other than your statements and your argument about it just makes you an idiot. You don't know how to think and you don't know how to analyze. I don't care where you went to school or what your profession is. There's just no way to make the determination you're making based off some of these bullshit audio clips that you're seeing on the internet. It's just ridiculous. You got to be an idiot to follow that to begin with, for one. For two, if you can't look at all the victims that were hit and the trajectories the bullets would have to travel just to hit them and not conclude that those shots didn't come from the roof, then you're an idiot. You're beyond an idiot. You're unsavable. And there's no school in the world that's going to fix that. Go ahead there, Fritz.
No, I'm saying I totally agree. And I think that our governor, who had previously had always been for Republicans, I think he wanted to get his name out there. And so he started backing all this other left side stuff. And so therefore, things started happening. But yeah, we eventually will get him out. And that is why that all of our Georgia electoral votes went for the Republican Party.
And in the election of
see it,
2020, if you break it down county by county, you will see that Biden won in the Republican districts. He didn't win because of the Democratic turnout. Biden won Georgia because if you go look at the Georgia voting totals, county by county, counties that Trump won 95-2 to Clinton, he won 71-24 against Biden. If you go look at the election and go count the votes, Biden got more Republican votes than any Democrat in history. Someone needs to tell me that was done because Republicans they turned on Trump, or somebody needs to show me that the voting booths were not messed with. That the
Oh, they were messed with. They were absolutely messed with.
They admitted it in court. They know they were messed with. But
yes, they were messed with because they didn't count them. They had a truck outside that absolutely just destroyed all the votes. Like within.
No, it's more than that. There's legal cases and there's admittance by the counties. But what I'm saying is a lot of Republican voters keep blaming Democrats, and in doing that, they're ignoring the truth. And that there were not enough Democrats in Georgia to win to lose it for Trump. There only was a way to win in Georgia if enough Republicans turned against Trump. And I'm telling you that if they counted 8 votes for Trump, 1 for Biden, 8 votes for Trump, 1 for Biden.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do is steal a Trump vote. Yeah, that's really how it happened. You go through Texas, and the most oil without oil, the town couldn't exist. And he won that thing like 99% against Clinton. But against Joe Biden, he only won it by 78%. How does that happen in a Republican in Pennsylvania on the border of New York? This entire community
Texas is absolutely
oil. Listen, this county drills for oil, it fracks for oil, and it goes under the New York border and steals our oil. The whole town exists only because it can frack. Okay,
because we want everyone to use our own oil, which is what Trump
won that town the first time against Clinton. He won that town by 30, 40 points over Clinton, killed her in it, right? And then against Biden, he only won it by 12%. How is it all these Republicans in areas that you all know, you don't even got to be a genius to know, a town that only can exist because of a fracking law that voted for Trump, who supports that fracking law, then turned on Trump 4 years later? How does that make sense? It doesn't.
No, they did not do that. They did not do that because early voting showed that they were all going to vote for Trump.
But they didn't, not in the count. When the count came through in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and other areas of the country, and even states that he won, you could see the Republican voting went up for Biden, up higher than any fucking Democrat ever. How do you explain that if it isn't some kind of shenanigans with the counting?
The votes, it was for Biden. And they tried to press charges against Trump for stealing votes when it was Biden all along.
Well, listen, Sidney Powell, General Flynn's son, his brother, they all blocked me when I showed unequivocally that the votes were stolen in Republican districts to give Biden those swing states. Biden only won the election by 56,000 votes, people. I don't care if you see 81 million versus 74 million. In the 5 states that turned the election, 56,000 votes separated those two candidates.
Right.
Okay? And when you look at the Republican districts, and here's another thing, go look at the Democratic districts in the states that Biden won. And the Democratic voters came out for Trump in 2020 like they could never dream of coming out in 2016. Okay?
Right.
Listen, Paul, you got to get out of here, bro, with your bullshit statements. I'm not even going to entertain you. You're just a fucking convinced idiot. 9 rounds, 4 different rifles. Well, there were 4 rifles on a roof that belonged to the Secret Service. There was one in the possession of the shooter. How do we know all 4 Secret Service agents didn't return fire on him? We don't know. Nobody's told us how many bullets
don't know.
They're just Secret Service. We don't know.
They're just saying that the guy returned one bullet that took out the shooter. That's all that's been reported. We do know that several was fired from the shooter. We know because we have one innocent that lost his life.
You got 4 people with bullets. We got 4 people hit. You got Trump hit. You got a fireman killed, and 2 spectators in the crowd hit. That's 4 rounds minimum by the shooter, right?
Yes, and we know that so-called our sniper, the SS sniper, he shot 1 round that took out the shooter.
That's what they're telling us, but we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
Absolutely. Right. We do not know that.
We don't know how many rounds were fired downfield at the perp.
Correct.
Who shot them? We don't know which building shot from. For all we know, it was from an area that we didn't even know had a sniper. We don't know. And that's what we're supposed to be paying attention to, folks. We're not supposed to be theorizing. We're supposed to be asking our government, who shot the fatal bullet? How many shots were fired by the Secret Service? Who ordered the security detail not to secure that building? Right? Those are the things that matter. Not this bullshit of whether he was shot by 4 different rifles. You fucking twit. I banned that guy. I just can't take it. What is going on with our Secret Service? What is going on with his security detail? Now, when you see Trump at the convention, the irony of the convention detail was they were all taller than 6-foot white men surrounding Trump. Where are the women? Why'd they take the women off the
Did you
detail?
see all the women that surrounding him trying to carry him down?
So are you mean to tell me I'm a anti-woman guy because I question the fact that they had a 5'4" security woman on him? You're talking over me. You got to relax.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got. Listen, I think women have their place in anything they choose they want to do, but I think a woman shouldn't be climbing 3 stories to rescue a 300-pound fat ass in a fire. I don't think that's equitable. I think a woman knows it's not equitable, and a woman that's got a decent mind, and most of you do, they would rather stay down pumping the water or directing the fucking hoses or even communicating over the fucking radio to direct different guys into different areas. There's so many things a woman can do. But dragging a fat 300-pound man or trying to protect a 6-foot-plus tall man and you're only 5'4" shouldn't be in your fucking your folder of options. You as an individual should be smart enough to recuse yourself from that. Right?
Right.
Now, listen, I don't think women are any less capable than men when it comes to especially just using common sense to live your life.
Well, didn't you say that the Secret Service that was assigned to Trump was the detail was assigned by President Biden?
No, that doesn't happen that way, and it would never happen that way.
Okay, well that was what I was reading, and I just take that with a grain of salt.
When I was in politics before, I kept stressing to people that we all need to get a lesson in civics and read how these agencies work before we start in judgment of them, right? And so, in all fairness, like I'm saying, I don't have a problem with a woman taking any job a man can have. I don't give a fuck what it is. But I also think men need to exercise the same thing. I'm 162 pounds. I'm 5'10". I am not a security guard. I'm just not capable of it. I don't have the mentality to work out to get strong enough to even want to be one. So if given the option, that wouldn't be my career path. And if I did take it as a career path, I probably would want to be more in management of directing and setting up the teams than I would actually want to be physically defending somebody. Right? So I would be fair with my own personal assessments of where I belong and try to work towards them rather than just accepting, well, I'm on the Secret Service. I protect the president. I'm really not the guy you want out there doing that. I'd shoot all of you and then end up in prison because I'd say, well, I don't know. It looked like a threat to me. Yeah, he's 6'3". You're right. Right. And so anybody 6 foot and taller should be on his team. And the disbursement, who ordered the Secret Services encampment? Where did they put these guys? Who was in charge of doing that? We should know by now. There should have been a plan between the police and the government agents, regardless of the agency they come from, to secure certain things in certain areas. Who was in charge of that plan? We don't know who that is either. And
right.
I
feel like there was no planning. That there, usually when they have these rallies and things like that, they go out the day before, they scope things out, and they look out at their least securest areas. They figure out where they need to put people, and I feel like that did not happen.
Well, there's an advanced team on all of these details, regardless of who they're guarding. The Secret Service has advanced teams and setup teams. So those teams go out first. Like if Biden is going to go to England, the advanced team actually flies over there with a cargo plane, and they bring the limousine, they bring helicopters, they bring everything they need. They then look where he's going to be where he's going to be staying and where he's going to be traveling. They secure all of those routes. They take all the high ground away from the snipers. So they do everything. And in this case, like someone said this, and I agree with this. They seem to be complacent. And I think that does have something to do with it.
They did not extend that to Trump because, from my understanding, there was no helicopters, there was no drones.
No, but remember, he's a candidate for president. He's a former president candidate, so there's got to be a limited amount of security the guy can haul around with. I mean, let's be fair. There's got to be some limit. I mean, the guy just can't have the entire federal government at his feet. He's not even president. He's just a candidate.
Correct. But you would think that he, not even Trump himself, I'm just thinking that maybe even Trump himself would have hired outside security just because his position where he's standing right now, he can be the next president. And
Right.
I think that with the targets that has been put on him, you know, I would think that not just him, but I would think that he would have people around him that would want to give him a more security detail
Right.
and environment around him.
I really think I don't, this is where I have to accept that they dropped the ball until evidence shows me it was a conspiracy.
Oh no,
So,
absolutely, the ball
right?
was dropped.
And I think most Americans are remiss to do that. They don't want to default to what's fair. We all want these crazy theories and these idiots on YouTube with all of these sound recordings and all of these, like this beret. I agree with him. I think they failed Trump that day. I don't think that. Here's what I think happened. Look how many rallies this guy's had. Hundreds. Is that fair?
Oh yes, yes.
And only one of them indoor one was he threatened by a man with a handgun, if you remember that.
Right,
there's
but
been
this is
3
the third
attempts on
time.
Trump.
This is the third
It is.
attempt on
Right,
Trump,
right.
though.
However, he's never been threatened at any of his rallies, open air or any other way, stadiums.
Correct.
And so I think complacency does play a role in this, that they're, all the talk on TV that we're threatening dangerous people is false. And I think they know it's false. And the real issue I want to know is this will then, I think, give everybody a basis to realize the truth is who set up the security plan and who that set it up neglected to cover that one building. It was one building they failed to cover. Right? That's the building the kid shot from. So you can make that argument and know that you're making a safe argument. So why didn't the plan include that building? And who made the plan that didn't include? And what was their reason, if any at all?
But, and also, I have the question is, why was there a 3-minute wait? And the kid showed up an hour before, and he was being looked at. He saw entering the building. They saw other people there for the rally. Saw him on the building, and they were pointing him out.
Right.
So the question
is, it was too late, wasn't it? By then it was too late because the people that were in
he was
position
on
to
the
do
building,
something.
but they said that the law enforcement or someone tried to go up the building on the rooftop, but they're saying the kid pointed a gun at him, so the officer jumped down. He fell down. And I wonder who the hell that officer is, because when you took that oath to protect and serve, that's our next potential president, and you're there. The kid pointed a gun at you. Okay, well, you know what? You're an officer of the law.
But it was shortly thereafter but it was immediately after that he took the shots at the president. It wasn't like the cops spotted him and knew he had a gun and then nothing happened.
Right. And I think that they wanted to make sure, well, that building obviously was not secured by the Secret Service.
I'll give you an example. Imagine you being the guy in the Secret Service with that big rifle with a scope on it, right? And you also know that there's a team behind you on another building with scopes, right? Now, you see somebody moving on a roof that you can see. And now, don't you honestly think that it's highly likely that person may have suspected that was one of the security detail?
True, that they could have suspected that he was security detail, or they could have looked in there and seen that it was just a kid, and they thought maybe he was just going up to get a better view of Trump giving his speech.
But there should have been police on that roof. That's the security lamps right there.
If that sniper could see that building through his scope, then my opinion is there should have been security detail on that roof.
I'll go so far as to say that there should have been a security guard on guard at the tower to make sure nobody tried climbing the tower. That should have been under surveillance for 48 hours before the event.
The water tower was the highest point of the whole thing. And from that water tower,
I see the water tower is another significant lapse in security, but not as a place where a shooter was located.
Right.
So you could Monday morning quarterback this, which we're doing, and see lapses in security that just don't make common sense. They don't fit that bill, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It was the delayed time, and they were saying they were told to stand down. Were they thinking that maybe spectators had crawled up on that roof and was trying to watch the rally? And that's why they were saying stand down. They didn't want to just shoot.
Well, we
a
don't even know that they said
person.
stand down. There's no report that anybody was told to stand down that I've seen come from the government or the people that are investigating.
The other. I just say that because the news and the gentleman, there was a statement by one of the snipers put out that said he was told to stand down. He waited 3 minutes, and then when the first shot was fired, they fired shots back.
Right. Okay, but again, see, this is why these are the issues. That could be true, and I'm not going to tell you that you're selling disinformation.
No,
We
right.
don't know.
I'm just saying what I've heard. I don't want to say.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know factually. The only facts that we really can rest assured of is the victims' locations, the shooters' locations, the fact the crowd knew ahead of time, the police knew ahead of time. But
Yes.
we don't know between the time they knew and the time the shot was fired. We don't know the gap in that time span. We just don't.
My question is was the local law enforcement that was there, like the officer who was on the ground when the people there by them said, hey, there's a shooter on the roof, did he not have a radio that had access to others that was there, Secret Service or whatnot, that could radio in and say, hey, we've got somebody on the roof, can y'all take a look at it?
Yeah, we don't know, and that's can I just say this is why we the people, instead of getting off into this nonsense with these conspiracy theories, should be focused on the pertinent questions at hand, because once they're answered, then and only then should you free yourself up to consider other possibilities.
Right.
What we're doing is we're creating rabbit holes and conspiracies on recordings because Fox News's microphone picked it up.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And I don't watch any of that, and that's not my intention. I
Yeah.
just think that if there's local law enforcement and you've got people, spectators standing right in front of you and pointing, and they can see someone up there, did they not have radios where they had access to Secret Service or anyone that's
there is a record of the police reporting the presence of the shooter. There is, and that's what I'm saying. We don't know the time between his that guy that fell off the roof, the guy that said he saw him and had a gun pointed at him,
right?
And then he hurt his ankle. Those two officers received minor injury, right? Okay,
right.
They did call it in. So what was the time delay? And when he said shooter on the roof, did he identify what roof? In other words.
Yeah, he could have just said
send him there. Did somebody in authority send them to that building? Did they happen upon the building? Did their notice to the building come from the crowd? So then my point is, did other protectors on the scene even know that those two men were looking at that building because the crowd told them? Or right. So if they weren't sent, and if you called, there's a shooter on the building. What building? What building? You see, the time delay can be built in, not because it's a conspiracy or because people aren't doing their job, but just confusion in the moment.
Correct.
Right?
I agree with that. I do.
And we need to sort through that. That's what I do when I do the Kohberger case or I do the Donna Imes case. I specifically want to know what the facts are that are confirmable before I form any kind of an opinion and start traveling down the road to look at that opinion. I don't accept other people's opinions hat in hand, like all these people with the water tower and the fucking recordings, and I ignore you. I need to know first and foremost the events that we did witness, that are witnessable, that are verifiable. How did those events transpire? How did it come to be that when the cops saw him on the roof and had the rifle pointed at him, how did that get handled? I'm sure he immediately called it in, but did he call it in to people that didn't realize where he was? That's possible, right?
Correct, because that officer could have called it in and said, hey, shooter on the roof. They didn't know what roof, and also there was a slant to that roof. So it may have taken them a couple minutes to pinpoint where the shooter actually was.
And so how about when the guy on the roof now with the sniper rifles, the sniper teams that we know exist, right? How long between the cop seeing, the cop calling, command getting it, and then command relaying accurate information to the snipers? Yes. Or did the snipers see someone on the roof? Did they call command? Did they say we got someone on a roof? Is it one of ours?
Like
we got someone on the roof, or did they say, can we take a shot? And command said hold.
Because it probably went
because they didn't know what building.
Yeah, it went down a chain, and we don't know that local law enforcement was on the same radio as Secret Service, so they had to go down.
No, they had a frequency that they all shared.
Okay. Well,
So we do
I
know
was
that, and that's how security is set up. And if you're going to be part of the security detail, then you could communicate to command, and everybody on that
but if
frequency
he
can
said
hear you.
right, and if he said
Right.
roof, well, that doesn't technically tell
Right.
them what roof.
Right. So, folks, there's just so much we don't know that we need to know based on the information of what we can witness that's not been clarified. And we're not screaming for answers. What we're doing, and we're letting these other talking heads do, is drag us down the bullshit hole of 4 shooters, 9 bullets, 9 guns, water towers, and fucking. Why are we so willing to follow those paths of inquiry when really we don't even have the direct information that will tell us a complete story if we just demand it?
Correct.
Right? Like Cleta said the other day, send emails to the White House, send emails to the Secret Service, start asking, how did this timeline unravel? Some of the questions brought up in this stream, put them in your email. And if we all start doing stuff like that, we can actually make a difference.
Right, because we're the people. We're the ones who make the difference in this country. We're the ones who's supposed to vote to choose who we want to be our leader, and it makes no sense to me. But my opinion, there are times when our votes are just they already know who they want to be
Right.
president, and one or the other, they'll make that person be president, and our votes just to appease us to know that we went to a voting area and we cast our votes, you know?
No,
And
there's a
I
lot
feel
of
like
corruption
sometimes that it's
outside of
just
this.
to appease us that we've done our part, but I feel like in hindsight, they already know who they're going to appoint regardless because they've got things working behind the scenes.
I'll give you an example though of how fucking manipulated everybody's been. The idea that the Republican votes were manipulated during the 2020 election has been confirmed by India's top mathematician. I never talked to him. The idea was brought to him by people. I have no idea who brought it to him. And he did a mathematical analysis of the election and said Biden could not have won without Republican votes. Okay. And then when the analysis is done, when you go county by county in Republican districts, you're going to see that Biden got votes. You just can't believe he got that many votes in the area that he got. Right. So
Right.
that issuance of the Republican involvement in the steal has never been addressed. All you guys talk about the 2020 elections, the Democrats stole it. But what you're ignoring is with the assistance of Republicans. That's how it was stolen. The Paul Ryans, the Mitt Romneys, the Liz Cheneys, the governor of Georgia, with these jerk-offs was how it was stolen. Okay. And nobody's ever going to hold them to account. No, listen, nobody is ever going to know that truth because nobody seems to have the wherewithal to step back and look at things for what they really are. And when in this shooting situation, when you step back and look at what we have available to us at this point in time, there's no evidence to support a second shooter. And that's it, period. And anybody that's going to start using recordings and blurry videos to argue that there is the asshole of assholes. They have no basis and no place to be doing that. And they should be arguing for the same thing that I'm pointing out and that probably you're agreeing with. We need to know exactly what happened on that day, who ran the op, who set up the security detail, how did the radio communications and orders get dispatched? Did the snipers see the guy on his own? Were they alerted by the policeman or by a command center? All of these pertinent facts are what we have to have more than anything else. Not this nonsense these other streamers and these talking heads are giving you, the Bonginos and all these other jerk-offs out there to keep you outraged and keep you from the real truth. How do you hold the Secret Service accountable? By getting a forensic understanding of what happened that day. And until we get that, there just is no truth to be found. The same thing with Kohberger. There's no truth to be found. If the probable cause affidavit is unverifiable and what's in the affidavit gives Brian Kohberger exculpatory evidence that he didn't do it. And one of the biggest pieces is his phone connected to no network for 2 hours. Therefore, you have no forensic way to place him at that house. Period. End of story. And that was in the PCA right from the beginning. I noticed it. That's why I came over to true crime. And then I get over here and I find that most of the mental fucking midgets that run these true crime channels are no better than the mental fucking midgets telling you there's 4 snipers now. It's fucking incredible we live in a time like this. What do you think, Brits?
I think it is crazy. I haven't really been following the Kohberger. I did see something that stated that they caught his phone and that he drove by that area many times.
That's not true. It's been, listen, the state of Idaho admitted that isn't true.
That wasn't true. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't been following, and I don't want to speak on something I don't know about.
But look at it. I'm glad you're saying that. I'll give you a small explanation. There were 12 trips previous to the night of the murder where Brian Kohberger had driven 12 similar times in similar locations at the similar hours of the day and evening, correct? That's what was stated. That's true. Kohberger admits to that. Well, so they allege that showed the people, the talking heads, the media, and even the PCA alluded to that could indicate stalking or pre-planning for a crime that took place on his 13th trip.
I think it was the boyfriend, the other guy that was in the house. I think it was him.
No, he's dead. But just listen to me. Those 12 trips that they talked about were admitted to by the prosecutor and the judge to not have been taken to stalk the victims. There was no stalking at all by Brian Kohberger, ever. That was said in court under oath and openly by the prosecutor that is not true, that's a false statement. Brian Kohberger is not known to have stalked them victims. There's no evidence to say he did. But the way it was written up made it look like that's what they were accusing him of.
Right.
And they essentially were, but now that they were able to look at the actual facts, he was not stalking the victims prior to the night of the murder. That's been admitted to in court by the judge and Bill Thompson, the prosecutor. Also, the idea that they had Brian Kohberger, suspect vehicle 1, canvassing that house on the night of the crime. That car that they actually admit to being the one canvassing the house is a Hyundai Elantra of 11 to 13. What most people following the Kohberger case do not know is there's 2 Elantras in the story. Only one of them belongs to Kohberger.
The other one didn't it belong to someone else on a campus that was at a campus in the college?
No. We don't know who the other one belongs to. We only know that Kohberger owns a 2015 Elantra, and we know from the police and from the testimony in court that the house, the one around the house, is a 2011 to a 2013. And those cars have a distinct difference for exact identification. Every 2 years, manufacturers change something on the car to introduce a new model. Okay. So 11 to 13, the rear bumper is different than 14 to 16. That was the change they made. Or they may have changed the shape of the headlights. So you'll see that from 2011 to 2020, the body, the doors, the roof, those are all the same on a Hyundai Elantra. However, the front and rear fascias, they change. And that changes how you can identify and separate what group of years the car was manufactured. So there is no evidence to show Brian Kohberger's car at that crime scene. In fact, the evidence shows a completely different car of the same brand and same model at that house. That's been proven in court. So there's look, and I'm not saying Kohberger is innocent. What I am showing is that the government's accusations are all false, which means Brian Kohberger could have parked his car down the street and walked to that house and committed them crimes for all I know. I don't know that he didn't do it, but I do know that the government accusations do not put Brian Kohberger at that house at all. They prove that he, in fact, was not there. They prove he was not there.
Oh, wow.
And also keep in mind the DNA, you can't even talk about the DNA. And the reason you can't even include that in your analysis is because none of the DNA was used, either the IgG or and his DNA was only gotten after he was arrested. But the arrest warrant was issued with no DNA used to obtain it. Therefore, when you look at that probable cause affidavit and all these people running around telling you there's secret evidence, they're full of shit.
How is that even
evidence that's there is the only evidence you're ever going to get. And the evidence that they've shown in court, where Ann Taylor has brought them to court on motions, the evidence that she questions, in fact, exonerates Brian Kohberger. All the accusations exonerate. So if people
Do
want
you
to
believe
argue
that'll
with
be a
you,
mistrial?
what?
Do you
No,
believe that
I
will
don't
be a
think this will go
mistrial?
to trial. I think if Ann does her job, it'll get kicked.
What is your personal opinion on that, Kohberger's? What
It's not
what
my job. I have an opinion on his guilt or innocence. I can only, that's what I mean. That's not really what we're supposed to be doing out here.
right,
The physics,
right.
the
Because if we
civics
give our
lesson.
opinion, then that puts people down a rabbit hole. So we just wait for the physical evidence.
Correct. And the evidence we have so far has been proven under oath in a court to say that Kohberger wasn't at the house. Even though in the PCA it's written to say he was there, when you analyze it, it shows that he wasn't. Okay? It exonerates the kid. That doesn't, but again, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm simply saying that you accused me of robbing a candy store on the 14th, and I wasn't there until the 19th when I robbed it. Right? So your accusation on the 14th is false. You can't charge me with that crime.
Right, your timeline. You got your timeline wrong.
Right. Yeah. And now for you to try to come back and correct it, if you've charged this guy with multiple homicides and imprisoned him for 20 months, I don't know that. I think the case gets kicked because the state fucked up. Yeah, I don't have any thought on Brent K because Brent K is not mentioned in any of the accusatory instruments. Brent K is not mentioned by Ann Taylor. Brent K is not mentioned by the prosecution. Brent K has zero to do with this case because this case does not mention Brent Kohberger or whoever he is. You can't even consider that guy because he's not mentioned in any of the arguments or any of the case. That's what I'm trying to point out to people. You can only deal with factually verifiable information when you review this stuff, folks. These conspiracy theories are fucking nightmares, man. They're just nightmares. Look what's happening with the Trump shooting. Look at that crazy lady I had to boot out of here telling me she knows things and all I sell is disinformation. I want someone to show me here tonight how, when the police testify and the prosecutor says Kohberger didn't stalk them, how am I giving you misinformation? How am I wrong? And the fact of the matter is I'm not. And nobody can convince me of that because I'm just telling you what Bill Thompson said. I'm telling you what Judge said. And that, if you want to know where to hear that, you've got to go to the hearing where the state brought Ann into court because she put a questionnaire out to 400 random citizens as potential jurors. And in that questionnaire, she said, "Did you hear that Brian Kohberger was stalking one of the victims?" That was one of the questions she asked. And Bill Thompson brought her to court. And you know what his argument was? You're impugning your own client on information you already know was false. That's exactly what the prosecutor said. Her question: are you aware that Brian Kohberger was stalking one of the victims? His bringing her to court was to show the court that she's lying. She already knows he wasn't stalking the victims. It's incredible how this all came out. It's like, what? You let us all think that those previous 12 trips, you let us all think, for all the media told us, these brilliant fucking YouTube idiots told us, those 12 previous trips showed that he stalked. And so she puts that, because that was public knowledge. That was being sold. You even thought that till you came in here, right? And yet it's fake. No truth to it at all. And yet we ran around for months, folks, over a year. Brian Kohberger stalked the victims. Totally false. Yeah, I don't know how you people keep coming in. I don't want to hear your fucking theories about the gun. All right. Don't bring that in. I want to first know exactly how that crime scene was established, and what the lapses of security were, who the people were that sent the security detail to the places they were. Why did they keep the roof and the water tower off of their fucking observation? And if you're going to come in here and try making this argument about more guns and more shooters, you need to just shut the fuck up and either listen to what I'm saying on this stuff, my topics, or just leave. Because I'm not going to entertain it. Just not. I mean, you have no proof to support what you're saying. Just some fucking jerk off on fucking YouTube where everything I tell you is a fact. Rich, was there a guy on the roof that day?
Yeah, there's one shooter on a metal roof. That's all we know.
Was he found? Was he shot and killed by a sniper?
He was.
Okay, what was he in direct sight of taking shots at President Trump?
Well, he got off the shot.
He got off 4 shots. Didn't he hit 4 people that are all in line in the same
Yeah,
trajectory?
he
as
got
Trump?
off. Yes, he did. He fired off multiple shots. He hit multiple people.
So I don't want to hear nothing, Jeff,
So
about
yeah,
nothing.
that's all we know. We know there was one guy that
Right.
was able to get off multiple shots that injured and or took life of other people. That's
Right.
all we know.
And so to get into all these other conspiracy theories or possibilities or maybe coulda, woulda, shoulda is an exercise. It's like jerking off with no hands. Somehow, I don't know how you accomplish that, but good luck. Okay. I just don't understand how people get caught up in these things and they don't see the stupidity of what they're doing. Let this develop. It's not a theory. Jeff, you look at if dumb would be embarrassed to be around you. Literally, just be embarrassed to be around you.
All right, Sarge. Well, it was really good talking with you. Thank you for having me up. I'm going to get ready. I've got a lot of things to do.
That's
tomorrow.
definitely cool. That's
But
definitely
yeah,
cool. I appreciate
no,
you coming up,
I'm
and I
really
appreciate you
glad that
tolerating me.
No, hey, I'm all for it. You know, Clue introduced me to you a while back, so and I've been listening to you and Cletus a lot. But I want to jump off here, and I want to listen to you keep ranting and saying what you got to say because I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm listening.
All right, honey. Thanks for coming up. We'll talk to you again.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Right. Yeah, I'm just stunned. You know that yeah, and I don't know how even Jeff gets in here because I banned him. You know, I don't even know how that jerk off gets in here. I can't stand that dude at all. He knows I can't stand him. So you might as well just get the fuck out of here and leave my chat people alone, Jeff. There's no sense of you being in here. You're like that fucking WSU Kim. You're just a bunch of attention-seeking pieces of shit. I have no interest in associating with people like you. Now there's 9 shots. There's 10 shots. Goodbye. He's out. Unless you guys are talking about Jeff Small. I thought you might be talking about Jeff H. He's another fucking jerk off I won't have in here. Unfucking believable. But folks, the idea of sticking with the facts available is the best fucking way to find reality. It literally is. And staying away from these deep dives and sound analysis and video footage of somebody on a tower and oh my God. You know, I mean, it's just shocking. It really is to me how easily we're herded down these holes and how we make so much money for some of these people that don't deserve it at all. Look I wish I had 10 million followers. I still wouldn't fucking hit the fucking monetize. I wouldn't hit monetize. I just wouldn't. I don't need your fucking money. Really, my motive to be out here, first of all, is to fucking vent. Okay? Against all the shit I see on the fucking internet. That's one of the main fucking reasons I'm out here. Because there's too many fucking idiots out here that have captured too many good people's attention. The fucking idiots definitely do not outnumber you idiots. Okay? And you idiots that are actually good people deep down are the idiots in numbers of fucking staggering quantities to allow these fucking topics to drag your attention and then for you to argue that these topics are real. There is no realness to these topics. None. Wait till the topic becomes a fact and then discuss it. Wait for there to be evidence against Brett Kopaka entered into the record into the Idaho 4, or leave it alone. Wait for the grub truck or the Banfield or the fucking other shit to be entered into the record before you go down that rabbit hole. Wait for there to be 9 shots, 18 shots, water towers, airplanes, drones, fucking grassy knolls, for fuck's sakes. Wait for it to be entered into the record before you actually go down that fucking path. It's not that hard to deal with information. It's actually very sad. It's kind of boring. You know, it really is. It's kind of fucking boring. You take the available information, you put it together and you assemble it and you make an understanding as best you can and you wait for more information. But more importantly, because we have this tool called the internet, we all need to be demanding it. Who was in charge of the detail? Who set up the perimeter? Why did the perimeter not include that fucking roof? I mean, it's kind of crazy we're not asking these questions. I don't want to I don't want any harm to come to these Secret Service agents, to the police. I don't want any harassment to these people. But the people in charge of that, at this point, have a lot to answer for. They literally have a ton to answer for. We were a fucking millimeter away from this country burning to the ground, folks. Because I want to point this out, and I'm going to point it out again and again and again. If Donald Trump was killed that day, you wouldn't be on here with me. We would be under martial law. We would have people in the street putting on Trump paraphernalia, claiming to be Trump supporters, attacking the institutions of the police and our government and our cities. These people acting on behalf of the Democrats and the hateful Republicans to frame people like you and me. We would be in a serious fucking nightmare right now if President Trump caught that bullet that hadn't been taken down. The very people that you think you're fighting about in an election are the very people that hate you, the very people that would do anything to destroy you. Okay? And I'm not in any way, shape, or form condoning that we do that to them or return that to them in kind. But I am saying that you're fucking all smarter than what you show here. How in the fuck can you watch harsh realities theories? Right? And your argument against me is that I'm a cantankerous, vulgar fucking guy. That's your fucking problem? You're better off listening to me than sitting back as a fucking victim while your town is being set on fire by people that aren't ever going to vote for fucking Trump. Just like they did on January 6th. Just like they did on January 6th. Only this time it would have been nationwide. And all of the people that you would be seeing in the streets, you yourself would have to question whether they're the same people you were going to vote with for Trump. That's where we would be right now. If you want to think about what the facts, pictures, a set of facts paint, if you take the fucking facts and the reality that we live in and then draw a picture, what I'm laying out for you is the only picture that can be produced by any sound thinking, honest, fair-minded person. Had Trump been killed, this country would be destroyed, and you would be being blamed. You. And the people committing the violence would look like you, would sound like you, and would dress like you, just like they did on January 6th. You have no idea what bullet we missed that day. And you're going to get up here and you want to talk about 9 fucking bullets and 9 fucking guns and you're going to follow people that want to talk about a water fucking tower? Do you have any idea what fucking bullet we actually missed in this country? This country was millimeters from the country being lost. We'd be fucked. We wouldn't be able to communicate like this. This wouldn't be available to you. And then I get these jerk offs in my stream. You wonder why I flip the fuck out on people. I'm sick and tired of the fucking stupidity. You're all better than that. Pull up your fucking pants. Pull them the fuck up. Buckle them bitches. I don't care if there's a cock or a cunt in them fucking pants. And sit at the fucking table. Straighten up your fucking back. And have a discussion about facts. Stick to the fucking facts. I don't know how that's so understated. I'm fucking furious, man. You know, I'm not a huge fan of that guy, Get a Clue, but at least Get a Clue sticks with facts and he does everything he fucking can to prove to you that what he's telling you has fucking a foundation to be said. And there's other people out there that do it too. But the plurality of places that you have access to are all conspiracy driving fucking losers. A.R. Haynes. What the fuck is that? That guy Paparazzi, some other guy, the WSU Kim, the Jeff H's, and all of these other jerk-offs out here. All fucking a waste of your fucking intelligence and time. They don't deserve you to fucking hold a door open for these fucks. Because they wouldn't do it for you unless there was something in it for them. Unlike fucking you want a country for everybody. They want it for them. That's what these motherfucking conspiracists are all about. These damn Bonginos and all of these other jerk-offs out here that you think are on your team. They're not on your team. The only team you got is you. And the way your team is going to grow is by hooking up with people like me and me with you. That's the only team that you could fucking have. It's tragic what happened. And the tragedy was a hair's breadth. A hair's breadth away from destroying this entire nation for what it stands for. All of these young kids saying they want a better country. Well, then start fucking living by the Constitution and demand your government officials follow that to the fucking letter. You want a fucking country you could be proud of, a country you could prosper in? Then you start riding the asses of these fucking people lying to you, telling you because I'm white and you're black, I don't like you. You could fucking kiss my ass, motherfucker. I don't care what color you are. Most of us don't. The plurality of us don't give a fuck. You know what we care about? How you interact with us, how we interact with you. That's what we care most about. And isn't that the dream Martin Luther King had fucking died for? Judge me by the content of my character, not the color of my fucking skin. Isn't that what he died for? And I'm just some fucking white jerk off in New York. Yeah, I admit it. I'm a jerk off. I'm an asshole. I'm a vulgar fucking nightmare. Too fucking bad. I can't get over the fact that I think America needs to hear a message from somebody like me because you're not listening to it any other fucking way. You're not willing to fucking listen to it. Unless it's connected to drama or some conspiracy or some scheme. Well, fucking toodaloo to that bullshit. You ain't going to get it from me. I don't have any conspiracies to sell you. I have reality to sell you. You have no fucking idea where you would be tomorrow, 1 week later, what would be happening to this country had Donald Trump been killed. You fucking have no idea how easy it would have been to even incite us to go out and do those things. Like they did on January 6th. Never forget, folks, the enemy that you have hates you. They sell hate. The Democratic Party's voters hated Trump. Let's be fair. Let's be fair and say that they won that election in 2020 and the votes were correct. But they gained their votes by hate. To hate Trump. Hate him because he's a Russian spy. Hate him because he's a womanizer. Hate him because he's rich. Hate is what that fucking party sells. You have a mass amount of people in this country that hate you. And you don't even fucking realize it. You don't even want to talk about it. You don't hate the gay guy. You just don't want the gay guy and the transgender being brought to your fucking child's school. You can suck and fuck whoever you want for what most of us, our opinions are. The majority of us. It's none of our business who you love. You don't want me bringing church. You don't want me bringing the 10 Commandments. You don't want me bringing God into the classroom. I don't want you bringing your fucking lifestyle or my lifestyle into the classroom. Let's make classrooms all about fucking facts. How about that, folks? We can all agree on that. How about facts, astrology facts, math facts, science facts, medical facts, fucking whatever, mechanical facts. Facts, folks, facts. That's what the kids need to learn. Their way of life, how to view the world, how to work their way through it comes from the fucking family. And there can be participation by schools. There's no question about it. But it has to be fucking limited. Government always must be limited or the government takes over the people. And the people can only live in government when the fucking people respond in a way that's overwhelmingly on one fucking point. You have to have a focal fucking point to work for. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how fucking sad this world is in this country. And we have this fantastic fucking tool called the internet. Where even an asshole like me gets an audience. How about them fucking apples? Now on to a joke. So, what do you call a lesbian on fire? Does anybody know what you call a lesbian on fire? I mean, you couldn't get any further away from my fucking rant than that, could you? What do you call a lesbian on fire? Anybody know? Come on, I want someone in the chat room to say something. What do you call a lesbian on fire? You pussies. Come on. Say it. Little dicks. Speak up. What do you call a lesbian on fire? Well, I'm going to tell you, since none of you have the nerve to fucking answer. LGBTQ. You get it? A lesbian on fire? LGBTQ. You cowards. You cowards. You wouldn't even answer that joke. What's wrong with you people out here? It is kind of funny. It's cute, right? LGBTQ. You were a pathetic, ignorant, hateful little man. Thanks, Golf Green. Your mother didn't think so while she was licking my fucking poop hole. She found great pleasure in that. Apparently, my shit tastes good. I don't know. I can't confirm, but you might want to ask your mom. You might want to ask your mom. These people now will start to make all kinds of alternate accounts. This is the best part about how much hate these people have. And that's why I'm telling you, someone like Jeff H is a hater. He don't fucking like you people. There's bullshit he talks about religious and he plays off this nice kind. He's a what do you call that shit when people are passive aggressive? And this guy is just going to keep fucking with you, and he gets off on it. But he don't have any respect. Same thing with let me just say, and when it comes to the Democratic Party, do you know how insulting it is? If I were black, and I'm not, and I'm insulted being white, that you call me African American, passive aggressive. That's a great one. I would be offended to the extreme. Fucking blacks have been here since the 1400s. You fucks be calling them African Americans. Who the fuck do you think you are to nickname them that? And why do we all go along with that? What the fuck is wrong with us? Oh, it's politically correct. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's subjugating. It's subjugation. African American. Tell them they're not Americans first. You fucking sick in the head? Of course they are. Okay? How about telling them that they don't have to work as hard to get the same grade as someone else because of what happened to their grandparents? That's just another way of telling them that they're going to be subjugated and you're seen as being stupid. You're stupid because your parents were slaves. So you don't have to have the same test scores as anyone else. That's subjugation. Right? You're incapable. So we're going to chase all the fucking factories out of your city. We're going to leave you with fucking Taco Bell. Right? And then we're going to want you to get an education. An educational what? Societal fucking ideas? Bullshit? Are you fucking kidding me? All the fucking men in World War II that flew planes and did everything blacks were said couldn't do? All the black professors, all the black fucking astronauts and fucking pilots and teachers, and you mean to tell me black people aren't as capable as me, you sick motherfuckers? They don't need affirmative action. They need a fucking fair shake. That's all they need. That's all they need. It's insane what we've allowed happen to the black people in this country. We were fucking afraid to speak up. We're afraid to speak out. We're afraid to stand up. When they tell you don't use the word nigger, you shut your mouth. You won't use that word. Well, you fucking pussies. This is America. I'm just some fucking wop dago fucking asshole out here in New York. Call me whatever you want. That's your fucking right. It's insane what we've allowed these people to do to us. And we just calmly go along to get along. Meanwhile, the subjugation of fucking people has never been greater. It's never been greater. Regardless of your race, we've all become subjugated and we've all done it to ourselves because we've all gone along with it. And then suddenly out of nowhere, a tool used secretly to create Armageddon on Earth, to unleash as many as 14,000 nuclear fucking weapons. That tool is turned into a fucking mode of modern day communication, global communication, and they call it the internet. A tool designed to rain Armageddon on the entire world is at your fucking fingertips to use, to communicate, to associate, to learn, to understand, to think, to demand our government act within the boundaries of the fucking documents that they swore allegiance to. The documents that proclaim we the people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and tranquility. And we let these people destroy that, divide us, separate us. And then you've got all these fucking people, remember during the illness that I won't name him, all these people that are superior to you, telling you what you can wear, where you can work, when you can't work, what you must do. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? We have the opportunity, we have the ability, and we are a fucking cunt hair. By a cunt hair, we survived that fucking assassination of America. That was not a fucking former president or president-to-be's assassination. that was in fact everything American was at the fucking end of that guy's gun barrel. That little fuck would have destroyed this country and us with it if Donald Trump had been killed. You have to honestly fucking write that on your mirror, tattoo it to your back of your fucking hand, something, folks. You can never lose sight of that fact. The pictures, based on factual observations, make that fucking statement true. There's no other way to view what happened on that Saturday. And what are we doing? We're arguing about how many fucking shooters there were. We're not mobilizing and demanding that the Secret Service, that all of these agencies, the police department, we're not going after the fucking news agencies that aren't reporting the facts, aren't asking the questions that need to be asked. The representatives in Congress and Senate. I don't need somebody to tell me there's going to be an investigation. Just wait for the investigation so I can sit back and complain about it, which is what everybody fucking does anyway. Why don't we do something different this time? Why the fuck don't we do something different, folks? We have this mass means of fucking communication, instantaneous. And what do we know about what happened that day? Just enough to know nothing. Just enough to create conspiracy theories. And you think that that's not fucking pre-planned, that isn't the way it's supposed to work? You think that you're a creative thinker because you consider a water tower or fucking listen to some fucking audio? I hear 9 different shots. Unfucking believable. It's fucking crazy. That's true, Twizzle, but that doesn't help. We need to be yelling at the Secret Service lady. We, the people. We all need to get off our fucking asses and start emailing the White House. Where's the accountability for what happened here? Where's the accountability of the people involved? Listen, I'm not alleging that they did anything criminal, but they almost let the entire nation slip through their fingers. These people aren't just there to protect the president. They're there to protect the free society, the freedom, the people. What about the guy in the stand that lost his life? They're there to protect him too. Carl's on cloud 9. I don't know why Carl's on cloud. I haven't really attacked Carl in quite a while. Carl's been being pretty good in here. I don't even know. Carl Ferguson, that's a bummer. I need blood pressure medicine, I think. I don't need blood pressure medicine, folks. I take out that fucking car of mine and stomp on that fucking throttle. Scares the shit out of me. And I snap back. And listen, I know I say 5.62 billion morons and I attack people constantly, but I'm sorry. I can't stress enough how fucking stupid we're behaving. And none of us need be this stupid. I mean, I know it's a weird fucking stream. You got a guy in here streaming that's attacking you, rather than a guy in here trying to entertain you, tickle your balls and make your money. You don't got me doing that. I don't want your fucking money. Ain't nothing you can give me. You know, I learned things. That person came here and said I don't learn anything. And you know what I learned today? I learned that the reason why I was watching something and they were given the description of a well-established man, and everything they said does apply to me. I stayed away from this for 4 years. I didn't even get on social media until 2015, and I only did it because Trump was running. I spent 4 years. I talked with many people connected to Trump, directly connected to him, and although never tied up with Trump, but that guy Dilly, you guys can't even imagine. The Epoch Times, I could give you name dropping here like I'm somebody to try to build a following. I don't fucking live like that. But you see how I am. I get involved. I want to talk to the man in charge. I want to be part of whatever. If I'm interested, I want to be a part. Where can I help? And I did that for 4 years. And when I realized that those people in politics, like you're seeing them do with this shooting, are no different than the jerk-offs in fucking true crime, like you see them doing with all the crimes that are covered, I walked away. This time I came back. I came back under true crime. And when it became obvious to me that we're all infected with this need for alternative realities, alternative fucking ideas, the earth has to be flat, that we have to have these fucking conspiracies rather than deal with with whatever factual data needs to be dealt with. That's when I said, if I'm going to stream, I'm going to spend my time fucking slapping people around pointing this out. The reality of what happened on Saturday is all that we should be concerned with. The lack of fucking of accountability, the lack of understanding on that situation as it fucking stands. And if that information leads us to a water tower, if it leads us to 9 other rifles, fan-fucking-tastic. But until it leads you to that, don't ever come in my fucking stream bringing that shit up. Period. End of fucking story. I don't want to fucking hear it, and I don't think anybody in my stream deserves to hear that kind of fucking ignorance. Right? Shut up, Sergeant, says Cluminati. Get your fucking fat ass in here, you cripple. At least Cletus is my son, understands what it's like to date a one-armed fucking woman. Come on, you're going to talk shit? Bring that shit up here. I sent you the link, dickhead. I call her Deekhead, D-E-E-K head, Deekhead. Or I call her the Negress, because she's the Queen Negress. Yeah, I'm you look at folks, like I said, I'm probably not the right messenger to communicate this message. A lot of people are offended by me, and I don't apologize for that. If you can't get over the offensive nature of me and hear the message I'm giving you, then you need to go to a fucking therapist or just stay away from me. What up there, help desk?
You're freaking on right now.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I come in and you're like hollering.
Man, I've been doing the whole stream. I've been pounding on people, slapping people around, banning people, attacking their moms. I even had one guy told him his brother could lick my balls. I don't care.
Oh my Lord.
I'm an equal opportunity fucking shit talker. I really don't have any concern. These people coming in here with their 9 rifle shots. There's 9 different guns. There's 4 different guns. And I just shit on them and throw them out. Right? What am I supposed to do? I mean, goddamn, I buy toilet paper by the case, folks. You're not going to out shit me. Okay. I promise you that. Sarge is ready for shit talk. 96 rolls at a time I buy, Clue.
You buy 96 rolls of toilet paper?
Yeah. And 48 rolls of paper towels.
Jesus Christ.
And Sarge is single.
You are the same guy that bought a waffle maker and 18 boxes of waffle mix, so.
Well, not 18, but a couple, yeah. I just buy things in bulk. I buy coffee for the year. I buy soda for the year. I listen, I don't want people coming here making deliveries often. I don't want anybody to bother me. If I want to involve myself with people, I'll go out there and do it physically. Last night, I ran into a whole bunch of guys I'd never met with the cars, and the cop came by, and I was like, well, why are you closing the park early? Are these guys a threat to society? They may be interested in cars. The cop just looked at me and shook his head. I said, we'll leave, but give us a few minutes. I just got here. And he shook his head and pulled away. I mean, leave these fucking guys alone. They're not dealing drugs. They're not shooting guns. They're not fucking hurting nobody. They're not raping nobody. They're not fucking screaming, spinning their tires, revving their engines. Leave them the fuck alone, basically. Right?
Right.
Yeah. And there's young black kids, young fucking Puerto Rican kids, young white kids, and an old white guy standing there. Leave us alone. They all laughed. I became famous. I said, a little gray hair goes a long way. When you get older, you'll understand. And they just laugh. Okay. Now 2 guys call me Gramps. I'm their grandfather now. So that's okay by me. I don't mind. But what the hell? We got to stand up for each other, or because no one else is gonna. And that's been the whole argument in the stream, is that all of these conspiracy theorists, whether it's crime or politics, are just they enter the mind of these people and it's gone. Their minds are just gone.
What are y'all talking about? The Trump shooting?
Yeah, and how we were a hair's breadth away from losing the country, not just Trump.
Yeah.
Right? You know, Antifa and all those other people would have been dressed up like Trump supporters, been out there starting fires, burning police barracks down and shooting and fucking, and they'd have been claiming it was us out there. That's what they do. That's what they did January 6th. They would have done that nationwide if he'd have been killed. They wouldn't let that crisis go to a waste. That these hateful Democrats just are too smart for us, apparently. They did that on January 6th. Nobody can deny that. Anybody with a sane mind that watches how that played down, watches what part of the testimony, right? They hid documents. They lost documents. There were agents involved with inciting that situation. And guess what? If Trump would have been shot and killed, we wouldn't have been that hard to incite. Now, would we have?
No.
So what happened on Saturday was we didn't just, we didn't just almost lose a former and potential president. We almost lost our nation by that little fuck that shot that gun.
I agree.
And yet, where's the streamers talking about that? Just some asshole named Sergeant fucking Friday.
Excuse me. I talked about that today.
I'm sorry. I was either working or in the pool, probably in the pool and not working, but you know how that goes with me. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't hear your stream. So what's your take? And I'm going to be quiet for a minute. Apparently, Cletus, he's one of those employees that calls in late to tell you he's going to be late or not show up. Anyway, so Clue, carry
You
on.
didn't tell him you weren't coming on?
I did when I got the fucking message 10 after
You're-
8 o'clock. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
I see.
yeah.
I see. He doesn't know the show's on every day at 9. He doesn't know that.
I do know. Wow, fuck you. Your ass hurts.
Oh no, I think your ass hurts at the moment. Clue.
It sounds like it hurts. If he shits on himself one more time, he's going to be in trouble.
Damn. Come on now, boy. I thought you better than that. You shit downwind of your girl.
I am downwind over.
Oh my god, that's too funny. So what was your what is your opinion on this kind of nonsense, or what was your summation of your show today?
Well, I definitely agree. One thing that I want to see is the head of Secret Service, something done with that situation. I watched the people chase her out of the RNC convention, but
Did you see Trump's new security? They're all 6 foot plus tall men.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you see him before he gives his speech, walking into the arena with surrounded by these hulking fucking men.
Well, and I mean, and like, I don't think that we shouldn't have women working that job. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think I agree.
But I don't know necessarily like right in
Right.
the
Couldn't they
way
have been
it
the
was done
driver of
the
the
other
Suburban?
day.
They could have been
Right.
the driver of the Suburban. They could have been the person that organized the protection plan. They could have even been a sniper on a roof. I wouldn't object to that fucking shit at all.
Yeah, I just don't feel like if you're like 5'5" and the
What about
president is
6'3"?
that, yeah, it's not a good.
You're protecting his balls from catching around. I guess that might be worthy.
Well, I mean, those are important, but
But he's 81 years old. I don't know if it's going to matter. But
Sure.
anyway, you're right. You're protecting his nutsack. And I guess that's kind of degrading for a woman to know that her place is to protect the president's balls. But it is what it is.
I mean, I'm sure there's more value in her than that, but I don't know.
How
Watching
about
that was terrible. I'm sorry, but watching them with him and the first person to talk is the girl, and she's like, "What are we doing? Where are we going? What are we doing?" Like, don't y'all train for this in some like super secret airplane bay or something? Like, I don't know. It was terrible. It was
I want to
terrible.
know who was in charge of the security detail and who gave the orders and who set out the perimeter protection detail. In other words, who laid out the map of the areas they were going to cover. I'd like to know who that person is more than I want to know who the director of the Secret Service is, because she's not the one that authorized or set that plan in motion. So who observed the aerial views of that and didn't include that building? That's really their security labs was not covering that building. Fair?
Yeah.
So why who failed in that task? It's such an obvious thing to have missed. I want to know who that person is and what disciplinary action is being brought against them.
Well, and she said that they had, I guess, local law enforcement in the building, and it's like, well, what the fuck good is that going to do?
No, law enforcement's contradicted that with TV statements right directly to the news. We were not. We were on traffic detail, period. We were not in any of them buildings.
So she
As a matter
lied.
of fact, the Secret Service was in the second floor of the building next to it.
Oh my God.
So more and more data is coming out that's verifiable. And it's just, again, it's that's what I think the facts are what we're able to see and observe and confirm should be the focus of our attention. And earlier in the stream, I had at least 3 people come in talking about the water tower and all the, they got those Tommy Jude fucking pictures where you zoom in and before you know it, you got the entire fucking Iranian Republican Guard on the fucking watchtower in the background.
Well, I didn't click on the video, but I did see a thumbnail. And on the picture, it did look like maybe there was someone on it or something. I don't know. It like was on the recommended and I just looked at it in passing. But I haven't watched the video that went with it. But there are people convinced. Someone told me in my stream that you could see them in the front and then they ran to the back.
Yeah, bullshit.
And I'm like, I need to watch the video, I guess, because
Don't waste your time, Clue.
and
I
I'm
mean, you
also
can go and confirm it, but you know me, okay? If there's something to
yeah.
see, there's something to see. But look at here's what I say. Here's where the water tower comes into it. Was there or was there not a security guard, a policeman, or anybody that's part of the securing the grounds? Was there anybody at the base of the tower to prevent people climbing it? Up to 48 hours prior, was it being observed? So that tower does have a place in this, but
Yeah.
not because there was a shooter on the roof like these jerk offs on the fucking media and on the fucking YouTube want to tell you. No,
I
there's
don't
no
know
look at
why.
where's the bullet, the shooter? If the shooter was on the tower and he shot at Trump, right? Why are there no dead bodies or wounded or damaged anything in the direction coming from the tower?
Well, for me, my biggest thing is I don't know why they wouldn't have had Secret Service on the damn tower.
No, because that's out to the extreme range of what they're even trained for, and these are the best of the best. That thousand, that where that was, that's half the distance they're trained to. That's a significant distance. And here's the thing: you would have to climb the tower. So securing the tower would not necessarily mean you needed a man on the roof. I would recommend against that. But securing the tower, if you're gonna survey that area, maybe send a drone up to confirm that the top is clear, there's nowhere to hide, and then you're gonna leave somebody on the ground to make sure nobody approaches the tower to climb the tower. That would be acceptable security precautions. Now, if somebody parachutes, like fucking Dick could probably tell you, well, you can't really plan for that, right?
Oh my
Right.
god.
Who's that guy? What's his name? Crime Circus, the parachute king. But so here's the thing: is it a lapse in security? And we could say maybe someone should be on top, maybe someone shouldn't, right? Either one is fair. But was it part of the security plan? And if not, why not? And who made that decision? Who's to be held to account for that?
So,
Here.
a trick that I learned one time for a situation like this, which is another reason why I say they just should fire the director.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring somebody in new that has no fucking idea what they're doing, but you tell them, here are the security protocols, here are the procedures, here's what happened. Your
Mm-hmm.
first task is to go find out what went fucking wrong and
Right.
bring me the names of the people that failed.
Right.
They're going to focus on doing that because that's the only task you've given them. You gave them the director job, but you didn't give them anything other than that task, right? And they're going to come back and they're going to tell you truthfully what the fuck happened, right?
Well, yeah, it was kind of like I had this kind of discussion with people about James Comey, the director of the FBI, when he was there, and that a lot of folks don't really understand what it means to be the head of an agency, and typically the head of the agency, they're dealing with personnel issues, they're dealing with unions, they're dealing with public relations, they're dealing with everything that isn't unnecessarily security organized. Okay. Like, I own a company, but I don't do anything on the end of the installation for the company, right? I do everything else that it provides for that to be accomplished. So that's kind of what the director would be doing. Now, because the buck stops with her, she should be terminated. But it's also her responsibility to review security plans at times or be briefed and have an understanding of what these people's jobs are. Like, I understand what my workers' jobs are. And even though I may not do it, I know what's required and what the outcome should be of them doing the job properly. And I'm supposed to keep an eye on that as the director or the guy in charge. And that's the accountability she should be held to. The failure of what happened that day, the accountable person is the guy in charge of the security detail, not her directly. You see, so she does have a failing in this, but it isn't the failing of her failings caused Trump to get shot at. That's not true. The real people that failed are the people on the ground that laid out the security plan, that told people where to go, where to be. That's the person. Who the fuck is that?
Have they
And
fired
we just don't
anybody?
know.
Have they
Not that
fired
we know
anybody?
of. Not that we
Huh?
know of. Not that we know of, no.
Then she's failed at her duty. She needs to
Correct.
go. It's Friday. what the fuck, tomorrow is a week
Right.
and nobody has been held accountable. This is not that fucking difficult.
Right. There was someone out here on Twitter and on YouTube saying that the FBI assistant director was in the crowd behind Trump recording it on her phone. This guy has like 500,000 followers and everybody was retweeting that. The minute I read it, I said, you people are a bunch of fucking losers making that kind of an accusation.
What does it matter if she was?
We're to try to prove it was an inside job. That's the whole point.
But I mean, if it don't make a fuck if the president of fucking Iran was behind him. That doesn't fuck.
I know.
What the fuck?
No, they
does
want to
matter?
conspiracize it. They want to turn it into a whole new clickbait fucking topic. And these people with these videos, they got a recording from Fox News that showed the woman that was calm behind Trump and said, "Look, that definitely looks like the assistant director of the FBI." I'm like, for you to even follow this guy, you should question your. Why are you breathing the same air as me? That's what I want to know. First and foremost, all 500,000 of you that follow this fucking jerk off.
I saw JLR say that wasn't her.
Huh?
JLR says that was not that lady.
It definitely was not that lady. And the idea that you could pick that, it's kind of like I say about the Secret Service agent when she went to the RNC, she shouldn't have made the decision to go. On that alone, she should be on nothing else. Just that action of going to see Trump and putting herself in a situation to be observed, she should be fired for that.
What the fuck is the DEI department? What are you talking about, Carl?
Department of.
I have a feeling he's being a smartass potentially.
No, Department of Employee Integrity or something. No, she's an appointed though. She's appointed by the president, and therefore the president can remove her.
She's a fucking appointed to that position.
Yes, by Biden, and she's hold on, it gets better because
what the fuck are we waiting on?
Hello.
Yeah.
She's friends with Jill Biden.
I don't give a fuck about that. If she's appointed, then there is no ifs, ands, or buts. It's tomorrow is 7 days. She's an appointee, and
The
she
failure of the
hasn't
president of the
anybody.
United States not to remove her. Let's be clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, he probably can't even remove his own teeth.
Yeah. So President Biden is supposed to remove her, or should remove her immediately. Right? Pending further investigation, and I'm going to appoint a temporary director in the interim. That's what he should do. There's no question about that. But that's not what they're doing, because these people in the Democratic Party are haters. They hate everything about you, about this country, and that's all they're ever going to sell to each other is the hate. That's all they know how to. That's how they won the election in 2020, on hate. That's how they justify the shooting, on hate. And they don't even know what the fuck they're hating, but they just hate. And that's kind of been the Democratic Party since it was created. And everything that they've ever done has been based on hate. When they imposed the right to blacks to vote, the right for blacks to have freedom, the right for blacks to go to school, the right for women. All of those things are opposed by the Democratic Party, not on principle, but on pure hate, folks. And it's been like that since the inception of the country. And for some reason, that doesn't get discussed. They've convinced their own victims that they're their friend. The subjugation of blacks, and all these blacks vote Democrat, not knowing that every policy that these Democrats put forward were one more step in their subjugation. Even the labeling them of African American is a form of subjugation to those individuals. You make them other, different, unique, away, apart, not a part of, apart from being an American. What more do these people have to do to be American? And I'm telling you, the hate that comes from that party, the Jim Crow laws, all the shit that they've done to blacks, even whites. If you oppose them, they hate you, and they're going to destroy you with hate. And it's just kind of fucked up.
Did you write your letter to the White House today?
I did not, but the note is sitting right here next.
No good communist motherfucker. What the fuck, Sarge?
Listen. I was too busy working on this new joke.
What is it?
Did you hear my new joke?
I did not.
What do you call a lesbian on fire?
What?
LGBTQ.
What the fuck?
That's pretty good.
Oh wow.
Okay, if I send that letter tomorrow to get rid of my communist title?
Yeah, maybe I'll do the same thing. I didn't send mine today either.
Why, you fucking two-faced motherfucker. I'll beat you down with your own work boot. Oh,
Yeah, I hid the stamps under my work boots, and so I couldn't fucking mail it off.
unbelievable. And it's, again, we have an opportunity to bring people around, and I like I said, I'm not the best messenger, Cletus. My passion gets a hold of me, and I just can't help but just crush and destroy and beat on fucking stupidity. I don't know what it is about me that makes me want to do that.
It's the communist in you.
There was someone in here calling me communist earlier.
Were they?
Yeah.
Damn it! I wasn't the first. That fucking
No.
sucks.
No, I'm a hateful person, and I literally don't hate anybody. There's no one out there that's earned that title of hate. I don't hate anybody. I hate things people do. And that distinction, I think, is a very fair distinction.
Yeah.
I have no tolerance for stupidity.
Well,
I guess what's her name? WSU Kim was sad, and she ended up in 12 Streams chat trying to fucking cry about things I say about her. But you earned the fucking message. I'm sorry. The facts of what you did turned me against you. You fucking filthy, dried up piece of shit. And that's not going to change until you stop fucking trying to profit and get the attention, and your little fucking jollies off getting attention from fucking people on YouTube. That goes for people like Harsh and others, man. Their whole fucking look at it. Go ahead, entertain me, but I don't think you can entertain me in a quadruple homicide. I don't find anything to be entertained about. Do you?
No.
How about Sebastian Rogers missing? Is there anything entertaining about that?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm sorry. I come out blame. It's a good thing I'm not in charge of the security detail. I'd have mowed the whole fucking place down and said I got him. Right? I'd have pulled out some Scarface weapons or something. I'd have shot so many holes in that building it would have collapsed in on itself, and it would have been another 9/11 on a farm.
Jesus Christ.
Shoot them all. We'll figure it out when we're done. God knows. I'll leave it up to God. He'll figure it out. We'll just send him up there for the visit. Anyway, so what else is going on? Anything good in your lives? How's the pool?
I wouldn't fucking know.
Why not?
Because I can't get my hand wet for 6 days.
Oh, please. You put a bread bag over it or something.
A bread bag?
Yeah.
I do have the super expensive cast cover I bought that I can swim in, but
So that's why
hurting
Cletus has
too
been
bad
working
today.
overtime.
It hurts like a son of a bitch today. I can't do that.
So that's why Cletus has been working overtime. And he literally sent me a message. And he's another one of these fucking YouTubers. Still working, won't be on tonight. He sends it to me at 9:10. What about 8:50, 51, 52? What about 8:59? Cletus?
He was outside doing yard work.
Well, that's not what he says. Still working. Won't be on tonight.
Was he on his computer? I don't fucking remember.
But my question is, why is he telling me at 10 minutes after the show starts?
Oh, yeah, he's good for that. No time management.
Well, this ain't 7-Eleven. This is some heavy lifting over here.
Well, I know, but,
Is your daughter there?
Yeah.
Did she hear my joke?
No, she's in her bedroom.
She didn't hear that joke. You ought to share it with her. She'll laugh.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Since I actually managed to raise one who's not easily offended.
Yeah. We don't want people that are easily offended. And, I'm offensive simply because I want those easily offended to get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, right. She'll probably hear the joke and feed me the punchline.
She'll probably before you get it out, right?
Get her and tell her to come here.
Who?
Baby Clue.
Okay.
I'm going to let you tell it to her.
All right. Let's see how she handles it. She's
She
probably
ain't a
gonna come
pussy.
back. She'll come back with a better joke. Watch.
She's not a pussy. She'll be all right.
So yeah, it's been an interesting stream. It's gone longer than I expected. I did have someone up here. I
Oh,
forget her
yeah?
name. Yeah, there
Who?
was some. So I don't know. I put the link out there for anybody to come up. I got one lady coming here telling me I sell this information on the Idaho 4. I don't know a single thing about what I'm talking about. I said, well, like what? Tell me exactly what. She couldn't. I went there. I'm in college right now. The woman looked like she was 65 years old and hadn't had anything near her pussy but a fucking infection in 20
Oh, my
years.
God.
And she's going to come up here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fantastic. You're in school now. You're about 40 years too late, stupid. But yeah, that was an interesting, yeah. So I let her on panel. I never seen the name or anything before. I chased fucking poor
Come
12,
here. Come over here.
12 gauge couldn't take it. I was so brutal with people.
Your grandpa has a joke for you. Go ahead.
All right, are you there, Mini Clue?
Huh?
Oh, well, let's hear that voice. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
That's it. What's the matter with you, girl?
Nothing?
Where's Stick Toes? Bring her back. I don't know who the hell you are. All right, so you ready for my joke?
Yeah.
What do you call a lesbian on fire?
I don't know.
LGBTQ.
Stupid. I'm full of jokes.
Oh, tell him one.
BBQ.
Okay. Don't put me out on the spot.
I got another one, but come on, bring one.
What do you call a gay police dog?
I don't know.
Gay 9. Get it?
Oh.
K9.
Oh, yeah.
That's much more lame than the LGBTQ.
You know what? You're much lame than me. Okay.
Well, I respect your opinion, even though it's completely unverifiable. Here's the last joke. You ready? You ready?
Is it you?
Oh, be nice.
Yeah. What is it?
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Titanic is sinking. There's 4 men on the deck: a waiter, a teacher, a lawyer, and a priest. And the waiter looks to the other 3 guys. He's like, quick, we got to get to the lifeboat. And the teacher says, no, what about the kids? And the lawyer says, fuck those kids. And the priest says, do we really have time for that?
He's going to hell.
He's probably going to hell, yes.
Special place for him.
Going to hell? Listen, I've already been appointed to hold the door for all you motherfuckers. Don't worry. I'll be there.
You're not going to hell.
Not a little clue. All right. Well, it's been an interesting stream. I got to fire up the car, wake up all my fucking neighbors that have barking dogs. That's my only fucking redemption is I fire my car up late at night.
Let me
rev it up a little bit, and then H. Martin loves that joke. You crazy H. If you laughed at that joke, folks, you're all going to hell. All is. Don't worry, I'll be there. I'll welcome you in. And on that note, since Cletus abandoned his dad a couple of nights this week. We got Twizzle out there. He's a Twizzler. I just want to say, from the top of Cock Tower in Beijing, China, this has been an episode of Your Ass Hurts News Network. And if your ass doesn't hurt after tonight, come on back. We'll work on it some more. See ya.
Bye.